The CHP has their helicopter and units on the ground, 3 units, first unit and two units behind that. And what they're doing with those units, that first unit, as we often know, is the fact that they will talk to the chopper.
And I am being told from our assignment desk here in the KCAL studios that the CHP air unit is still following this truck. However, they're having trouble with their spotlight at the current time.
But so far, we haven't seen any stopping methods used by the CHP in the way of a pit maneuver or spike strips, but they haven't really had the right opportunity to do so. You know, as the sergeant was saying, you know, we might see on TV and say, hey, they're going into an empty parking lot. They should just do the pit maneuver right now. Why are they not pitting this person and, you know, bringing this to an end? But, you know, as we know, the CHP, you know, it's a methodical process. They know what they're doing. And, you know, they're a little bit more of an aggressive agency than the police department.
And then the chase was taken over by the California Highway Patrol. 3 units have been following this truck for most of the hour, along with the CHP airship. It appears that those ground units have backed off and are giving this truck a little bit of space.
Yeah, it's true. You know, the CHP, you know, again, you know, they don't relinquish pursuits. You know, when they take over, they want to follow it all the way through, as the sergeant was mentioning earlier, too. You know, again, they will stay on it, just switch areas or, you know, like, you know, different areas.
And we're still with retired Police Sergeant Patrick O'Malley. As I watched that truck weave through 2 cars, and to Susie's point, probably some of the most desperate or dangerous driving that we've seen throughout this chase since we've been watching for the better part of the 9 o'clock hour. Sergeant, could you tell us what, if any, advice you would have for any other motorists who might be on the freeway? Because this is Los Angeles. We do have chases like this.
Then we saw this driver pick up speed. We saw CHP back up, and then I looked back up at the screen. I looked away, then back up. All of a sudden, CHP officers back on the ground.
So, you know, you'll be pulling in an area that's a shopping center, an area that has more vehicles, more pedestrians, things like that. Then they're weighing all of those factors when they decide to pull off, and especially CHP, because their bread and butter is the freeway. So that's CHP doesn't seem to do that very often. They'll use different tactics in terms of spike strips or pits or things like that. But when it becomes dangerous to the community, you know, and they're weighing what the crime is, then that's their determination if they should continue to chase or just let it go.
Sergeant, I was just about to talk to that, because I know in CHP, in my few months that I've covered chases here in LA, I know once they get on it, they get on it. What other factors, you know, is at play here? Does, like tonight, it's a Friday night. More people are out Friday to dinner and events and stuff. How much of a factor does that play into how these officers respond, and how they might not respond, or how they may hold back more than they normally would on a regular day?
Well, right now they're in a dream situation, you know, in terms of chasing a vehicle.
Right.
You have very light traffic, a lot of areas for the vehicle and the officers to maneuver.
And at what point the CHP is going to be able to go in and use one of their stopping actual methods to stop this person? Or are they just going to be chasing this person all night until, you know, they run out of gas? So, you know, obviously we're talking about different methods, Sergeant, that, you know, they can deploy, like a pit maneuver or spike strips. A difficult thing to do on the freeway, though. Tell us why.
Well, you just have so many lanes to go across. The spike strips pretty much cover 1 lane of traffic. So in order to, you know, get that vehicle to run over the spike strips, you pretty much have to know which lane they've been traveling in for the long duration, especially on the freeway. It's just very, very hard to do them on the freeway, especially when you have other vehicles around.